Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about how most retirement travelers get these 5 things wrong. And when we hit the road 7 odd years ago, we made several of these mistakes. We got at least 4 of these of the 5 things wrong.
We sure did. And, the first thing that we got wrong was insurance. We had no idea what it was like to be outside of the U.S., what medical coverage was like, what kind of insurance we need. And we had all the wrong coverages that basically did nothing for us. So, the situation is completely different once you leave the U.S. So you need different coverage. You need coverage that will work for you, not against you. And so after all these years, we have just recently again changed to what we think is now the best coverage we've ever had, and that is SafetyWing. We will put a link in the description to that below, but basically it gives you what you need and doesn't give you what you don't. And this is a great idea for people who are both traveling long-term and short-term overseas.
Yeah, I think this is a super important one. You don't know what you need until you hit the road kind of thing. And I think what's really cool is that SafetyWing has actually made some changes. These insurance companies have made some changes over the years because I think over the last few years since we started this full-time travel life, insurance companies have realized that there are more and more people doing this. They needed to make some changes to accommodate for those in order to be able to serve people better. So I think it's really important to have an insurance plan of some sort. And I think SafetyWing is really the best choice. Like we said, we just switched to them.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons we got this wrong was because this didn't exist when we started. And this is specifically insurance, health and travel insurance combined into one for nomads, for people traveling around. Before it used to be, well, you could get insurance in one country or another, but not everywhere you went all at once. And they've actually taken not just health insurance, but they're combining travel insurance with health insurance. On top of that, there is no deductible. I can't stress how big that is. There is also no network of doctors you have to choose from. You can go to any doctor, anywhere, and that will be covered. So that is just a momentous change. That's the first one, not having proper insurance.
Yeah.
If you're going just like on a 2-3 week trip, you should be getting this because it's different than the insurance that your insurance from home will cover. And then if you're going for a longer period, you should also get a plan for that as well. Second one is they don't utilize points and credit cards when they are traveling and paying for hotels.
Whoa, is this a huge one? We were marginally utilizing points and credit cards for this when we first started. And we were not doing a very good job at the very beginning with the credit cards and the points. Started out by getting a credit card that was not the right kind of credit card for what we were doing. And then, we learned from our mistakes and made some changes along the way. And man, it is so important it's one of the things, actually, we dedicate an entire module in our retirement travel Jumpstart course, an entire module to talking about cards and points and what order to get them in. We've actually shared a few videos about that here on the channel as well. What order to get them in, which ones to get, which are going to be more useful when you're traveling. There's some, points that are not going to be super useful when you're traveling abroad as opposed to what you can use when you're in the US.
Yeah, the basic thing is if you're staying at a US hotel, you should almost always, in every situation, be paying with points and not with cash, because you get so many more benefits when you pay with points. It is cheaper when you pay with points. They don't tack on all kinds of fees. And with most of the chains, IHG, you get a 4th night free. Hilton and Marriott, you get your 5th night free. So you want to use points as much as possible. You want to get credit cards that are going to earn you those points, both through a welcome offer that you may get and points when you're spending your money. You can also buy points. We do have links in the description to where you can buy points for each of those brands. It's often hard to see where you can buy the points, so we put those down there for you to do so. And they often run sales where you may get even bonus points on top of what you're buying. So that is a huge thing. I think we wasted a lot of money not utilizing points to the fullest. It's really only been in the last 3 years or so that we've been doing a really good job at that. but we left a lot of stuff on the table.
Yeah, and I think also like with the credit cards, some of the credit cards offer certain things like lounge access at the airports, which is another kind of game changer really, to be able to utilize those lounges when you're traveling on your travel days. And also getting like hotel loyalty as well, the hotel loyalty programs, and the fact that you could use those major brands abroad and it goes even farther than they do in the US.
Next one is going to be that retirement travelers, when they first start, they move around way too much, and they do it in an illogical order. So a lot of our budget, we spend $4,000 a month on our budget. That does include the travel. That includes flying from the U.S. overseas or going back home. And that is where most people blow it, because that's a big portion of your budget. If you're spending $500 each on a plane ticket every month, that's 25% of that budget. So you just can't do that. So you want to get to an area, say you get to Asia, you want to stay in Asia for 6 months. You want to stay in South America. You want to stay in Europe and ride trains. Do not be ping-ponging all over the world, and do not be leaving every 3 to 5 to 10 days. You want to stay. You have the time. It's going to save you a lot of money to slow down and not make wild, erratic schedule changes.
Yeah, and I think it actually is so hard on you when you first start out, especially to be moving around so much. It's hard because travel days, you'll learn very quickly. Travel days are a challenge, it feels like, always, and you want to make them as easy as possible. And you don't want to have as many of them back to back. Like you said, you don't want to move every 3 to 5 days. You have time to savor and go slowly and enjoy each of the places. Use up your visa time or your, visa exemption time or whatever in each of these places. They have so much to offer. You're not going to get bored. If anything, enjoy that time and have some fun time reading books and just doing some fun things like that. But it does really wear on you to move around from place to place and to do it in, like I said, an illogical, manner. You're going from Asia to Europe and, back to the US and then back to Asia, and you're all over the place. That's wear and tear on your body really does get to you very quickly.
All right, next one. We hear this one from people we talk to all the time. They don't have a plan for having purpose or community. And this is a really big deal because you think it won't matter, but it does matter. Once you get out here, you need community, you need a purpose, you need something to be doing, something to be working on, even if it's just a hobby. You need something other than travel to be your purpose. And when we talk to people, a lot of the time, just that we meet, maybe we go to dinner with them, they'll always ask us what we do, and it always comes up that we have, we do YouTube. And almost always they say, oh, I wish I'd have done that.
Yeah, I think that's a huge one. So many people say that to us. They're like, oh, I should have done it, even if just to share with family or whatever. I should have started doing that because I did all this cool stuff. We say it too. We should have started sooner than we did because we did so many fun things that we could have shared with our friends and family and with you guys. And we just didn't start soon enough. I think, that's the cool thing about our YouTube course and community is that not only do you get the course that we put together for you, you get to get a little bit of a head start because we kind of break everything down for you of what we've learned over the years with our various YouTube channels. But you get this community of people. And so many people have said to us, I would have paid the money just for the community because it is so amazing to have a group of people who know this journey that you're on. Even if the channels are completely different, there's channels all over the place of all different types of things. Amazing what people are doing. I always love watching all the different channels that people post they're doing in the community, because it's so cool that people who are doing such different type YouTube channels can all still connect and just learn from each other and support each other, which I think is incredibly important.
All right, the next one is not protecting yourself online with a VPN. And a lot of people that start doing retirement travel, they don't know what a VPN is. It's a virtual private network. And basically it's going to protect you. If you go on public Wi-Fi, which you're always going to be on, either at a restaurant or a hotel, if someone else is on that same Wi-Fi network and they know what they're doing, they can get into your stuff. And if you are on a VPN, they cannot do it very easily at all. So it's very inexpensive to get a VPN, just a few dollars a month. We have a link to the one we use, which is NordVPN, in the description. But it really does protect you. It protects your finances, protects your safety, your security, everything about it. There's a lot of other great things about the VPN too. It's a safety feature for you. We have been in countries where the internet was shut down or parts of the internet were shut down. So we were in a country one time and there was an incident and they basically closed off all social media to everyone in the country. And the way they do that is they shut down the providers in that country. They can't access that. But if you have a VPN, you can just basically tell it you're in another country and it will then restore your access. So we were able to do that, find out what was going on around us and communicate that back to loved ones. If you don't have a VPN, you won't be able to do that, and you just never know. You can't take for granted that you will always be able to access the internet in every country you're in. This is like a no-brainer because it's only a couple dollars a month. Get this. You should probably get it before you leave. You can play around with it, make sure you know how it works, and go from there.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, of all of the things, we did everything wrong except for this one. This is the one that we had from the very beginning. We did have the VPN. It is incredibly helpful. There are also some websites in the US, like sometimes we're trying to log in to pay bills on certain websites from home, from the US, while we're in a different country, and we're not able to access it from outside the country. So we got to get that VPN on there and put it that we're in the US, and then we're able to access it, log in, pay our bills, and those types of things. So even for those types of things, it's important too. So you'll be using it just because you're not, some big techno guru. Don't think that you're not going to need it. This is the one thing of these 5 things that we did right out of the gate. That's how important it is. We actually already knew to do that. We had been doing it before anyways, just for vacation travel beforehand, but it's really important to have these. We have links to all of the stuff that we've talked about here, from the insurance and the credit cards. We've got links for that down below. Buying points, as Rob said, sometimes it's hard to find that. And then we also have links to our courses if you're interested in YouTube, starting your own YouTube channel. We've got a link down in the description for that. If you want to be a part of the Retirement Travel Jumpstart community, you're thinking about this lifestyle. If you're watching this video, you probably are. You're thinking about this lifestyle, or you're in it, or you're just getting started and you want a community. It is an incredible community. We don't just say it because it's our community. It's their community. They make it amazing, the people who are in it. And we're just so proud and pleased of what it has become. But we have a link for that. If you want both, there's actually a discount for both courses as well. We'll put that down there. And then, of course, if you want to get NordVPN, which is what we use, we have a link for that down in the description as well.
Well, we hope you don't make these mistakes that we did. We did learn sort of the hard way. There weren't a lot of people doing this 7 years ago when we started, so we did take some initial mistakes. But hopefully this will help you. If you liked the video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and we will see you on the next video.